How's it going, folks? So the band Winterstorm have released a new single here. It's called The Phoenix Died, and it's featuring Elina Siirala of Angel Nation and Leaves Eyes. So I'm really excited for this here. Winterstorm, I believe their new album is coming out July 14th, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely in July. I believe it's the 14th, but anywho, I believe this is their third single from that album, if I'm not mistaken. I did a reaction to their first single, so check that out if you missed it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So without further ado, let's see what the band is up to here with their latest single, shall we? Rangers, go. song there. I really, really like that one. That might be my favorite of the singles that they've released so far. It just is a very powerful track, and each section of the song, whether it's kind of the chorus or the verses, all of it has its own importance for the song, and its own build up and its own power and its own killer melody and memorable quality, like, so every section of the song is very memorable in its own right, and it all kind of builds into this chorus that is grand and very powerful, and again, catchy and themic. So it's just a really neat song the way it's constructed and written, uh, where every part, it's not like every part strictly serves maybe only the chorus or this or that. Every part has just as much power as the rest. Every section, every, verse, what have you, bridge, all of it, it just, and they each kind of have their own distinct personality. So I would say there's a little bit of prog elements in there just because of the transitions and how every section has its own feel, but it all works together still. So that keyboard melody, like in the beginning, and we get in a few other spots as well, just classic. It just has a classic feel about it, and I love it. It's something that when you hear it, you're gonna be like, "Oh man, all right." This is the Winterstorm. The Phoenix died. All of that, and it just has this awesome, awesome feel about it. And it's not a super complicated melody, but it's inspired, and it again, I dig it, and it just has a classic feel about it. So I love it. It really gives the song a certain feeling right off the bat. You're already feeling something because of this melody, this keyboard, and then it really kind of takes off from there. I like the guitar work. The guitar riffs were really excellent, but um, what really also helped the song a lot was with the power and the fullness and the grandness, was the symphonic elements. They were just used beautifully, especially like you get some brass in there, and it's just pushing the song beyond, a standard song. It just is really catapulting it into the stratosphere as far as fullness and richness of sound and epicness goes. It just gets you pumped. The vocals, he's got such a strong voice, such a powerful voice. So again, it suits the style very, very well. And all the way through, like, I was never, again, speaking of how each part, it was so important and it could really just stand on its own, is I was never just looking forward to the next part, or, oh, I can't wait for the verses to start again, or I can't wait for this to just get back to the chorus. Or no, it's like I love every section, every part of it, and there's something special about every single section. And so, yeah, I was just enjoying this all the way through. I was just in it for the journey, because I was just enjoying it from beginning to end, and just getting more and more amped as the song went. It is just sick. It is just really, really sick. So that's all the positives, which there's a lot. It's a killer song. I loved it. A lot of power. A nice, and again, it's interesting because I would say there's a nice variety of things here. There's some heavy metal, and there's power metal, I would say, at its core. But then there's even some kind of, like, I would say, almost melodic hard rock elements, and there's just a lot of elements in there. And then symphonic. I mean, there's just a lot of symphonic. So they really have their own sound, their own style, and they kind of fuse a lot of different genres or styles into one to create their own. And again, their songwriting structure, it just feels very, they don't confine themselves to just having to have it this one specific way. They kind of go with the flow, and sometimes there's some not necessarily abrupt transitions, but some shifts, and they roll with it, and it's pretty cool. But again, excuse me, there's yeah, that's all the positives, which there's a whole lot. The only negative or thing I can say or critique about the song, and I've said this about songs before, but I don't see why they got Elina Siirala in the song. I really, really don't. And I love Elina. I've had a chat with her on my channel for Angel Nation, and she's awesome. I love her voice and everything. So I was stoked to see that she was featured on the song. But she got like two lines or something, like on her own, not even like a full verse or anything, like a couple lines. And then in the chorus and the other moments, like I can't even like hear her at all. Sometimes I could hear her a little bit in the background, but other times, literally, like in the music video, she'd be there singing, and I'm listening. I can't hear her at all. So it almost just feels like a waste of a guest or a talent if you're not going to fully utilize them. And this song would have been just fine with her not involved because that to me is kind of how it was. She got a couple lines on her own. Yeah, she was sort of in the background in other spots, but you couldn't even really hear her that well. So maybe the mix. There's so much going on in this song that I don't know, but in the mix, maybe she should have been turned up a little bit so that you can really hear that dynamic between the male and the female vocals, because the spots where you could kind of hear it, it sounded good. And with his voice and her voice, I could see like hearing both together would have just been really, really great. And it just gets lost, that whole dynamic. So, like I said, it it would have been the same song if she wasn't involved at all. And I hate to say that, but like if you get a guest vocalist or a guest musician or what have you, they should be featured enough to where they impact the song in some capacity. But in this case, I feel like she was so underutilized that there was literally no impact of her collaboration. The song would have been exactly the same if her involvement was not there, other than those like two lines where she's singing on her own. But then the fella takes over like right after that again. So it just I just wonder where that came in to let's get someone and get them in here. But then I couldn't hear her at all. So it just would have been the same song basically, which is a phenomenal song. But I just would have liked to have had more of an impact of her collaboration with the song, or her voice in there to hear it more clearly, because I think it would have taken it even to another level to really be able to hear that dynamic between the two of them. But that's really the only critique of the song I have, because otherwise it's a killer song. Yeah, I dig it big time. I'm really looking forward to the new album. Like I said before, these folks, Winterstorm, they have their own signature sound. They march to the beat of their own drum, and it's really, really cool. I dig that. And so you never quite know what they're going to be delivering to you next, and that's exciting. But yeah, this is a powerful, powerful, anthemic, epic power metal song here with, yeah, just really cool, really, really cool. Let me know, folks, in the comments down below what you thought of this song. How does it stack up to you from their other singles, and how excited are you for the new album coming out? Let's talk about it and I'll catch y'all next time. Ranger.